Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Why Teacher. In today's episode, we're looking at 5 different ways to keep the children motivated and stimulated to learn. So, point number 1 is if you've placed your children in a certain group and you've become quite accustomed and comfortable with them working with each other, do not let your comfort come in the way of their learning. So, children need to be stimulated, and stimulation can also come from pairing them up with different children. Now, sometimes this might not work because children have a conflict or don't want to sit with each other, but it's really important to keep exploring different groups. In doing so, there are many different benefits that come out because children learn to work with each other. They tend to find, maybe more intelligent and important conversations that they've been looking for. Children are consistently exploring themselves, so it's really important to put them together with different kinds of combinations and let them experience that growth. Point number 2 has to do with routines and structures. So while routines keep children comfortable with the expectations that we set for them, and structures give them the boundaries that they need to work in. Activities are something that teachers can really play around with. So if children are coming to the classroom understanding that there'll be a new challenge awaiting them each day, they're going to be more excited about the subject. These challenges also then push them to get out of their comfort zones and understand their abilities better. The third point has to do with student choices. So if the teacher gives the children the power to choose how they want to learn, it's going to push their readiness to learn to a different level. So having stations which offer them these choices in the form of learning kinesthetically or orally or visually, or whichever way they prefer to learn, keeping tools and resources that are going to support them through that learning is again stimulating the children's motivation to learn better. I really don't know if a lot of people will agree on point number 4 with me, but I do believe that children being stuck with one teacher to teach them language or one teacher to teach them math or science or any other subject is a very challenging concept, especially if the teacher isn't as skilled or the children tend to have a dislike or they just don't get along. I feel that year is going to take away the child's possibility of really exploring that subject or liking that subject. So the possibility of exploring this option of having guest teachers through the year, or teachers offering volunteering to teach a lesson in a grade for language or math or science, I think is a viable and doable option. And what it does is really give the children the opportunity to understand that language can be learned different ways, that every teacher has a strength that brings a different perspective to that subject. And I think exposing children to that kind of experience is really important for them to understand the subject well. And finally, to wrap it up with point number 5, the rule is really quite simple. If you want stimulated learners, you need super motivated teachers. So teachers, take your breaks, drink your coffee, breathe in, breathe out, and do your magic, because you make all the difference.